Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, I'm gonna finally sit down and tell you guys how I'm doing and my postpartum experience and all of that good stuff. I'm gonna share with you guys my tips and tricks, what I did and what I've been doing and all of that kind of stuff. Because it is Mother's Day, I figured instead of filming like a tarot reading or something like that, I would come and sit down and film a video regarding motherhood, being a mom, all of that. And I guess being postpartum is one of the things mothers go through. So here I am. If you have not already, please make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. Leave a comment if you are postpartum. Tell me how many months, how many years, how many weeks, how many days postpartum you are, and how it's going for you. Now, before I get into this video, we are going to be talking about sex, we're going to be talking about childbirth, we're going to be talking about the vagina, we're going to be talking about all those lady parts. So if you have a sensitive stomach or you don't want to hear about any of that, please make sure that you just exit out of this video because this is not the video for you. We are getting into the nitty-gritty, dirty stuff. I already filmed my birth experience. I will leave that somewhere up here. But yeah, so I already filmed my birth experience, so I'm not gonna go too much into detail with that, but right off the bat, I did not tear when I gave birth. It was a spontaneous vaginal delivery. I was not induced. I had a membrane sweep, which never again. And I gave birth to a healthy, beautiful baby girl. I am 4 months postpartum now. I just literally turned 4 months postpartum on the 7th of May. I almost forgot what month we're in. Physically, I feel good. And I want to say just recently, I have like no pain down there. Not even pain, but like my discomfort is mostly gone. I feel like for the most part, I don't have postpartum depression. Of course, you have like those days where, you know, life kind of sucks and you're sad, but for the most part, I don't think I have depression, and I don't think I had the baby blues too much. Okay, so let's start with the first 48 hours after I got out of the hospital. So I was only in the hospital for 2 days after I gave birth. That was because I had an infection, which I believe now to be from the membrane sweep. I don't know, it's just weird. And my OB, I was not a fan of him, and I'm not going back to him. So yeah, I had an infection, so I had to stay in the hospital, take some antibiotics, all of that stuff. I left about 2 days after. Oh my goodness. Like the amount of back pain that I had just due to the counter pressure. I want to say also maybe because the epidural, you know, they're sticking a big needle in your back. That could account for the back pain. My daughter was also giving me crazy back labor. She was kind of to the back and she was sunny side up. So that, I want to say all of that pressure and all of that, plus childbirth as a whole, like of course your back is going to be sore. I just remember like the back pain. My back was sore. My lower back just, of course, you know, my coochie hurt and my perineum hurts. Even though I didn't tear, like I was just very irritated down there, very sore, but you know, that's to be expected after you give birth. Even my booty hole felt a little bit achy. Like everything down there was just aching. It stung when I peed, and I did have a peri bottle that the hospital did give me. This was my peri bottle. And I'm also using natural lighting, so I'm gonna try to keep it at this lighting, but you know, the sun is blessing me. Anyway, so this is the peri bottle that the hospital gave me during my little, you know, 2-day stay. And my mom had told me like get pads, but I was adamant after, you know, going on Instagram and doing my own research on postpartum care, because you know, you bleed for like 3 to 4 weeks, even 6 weeks after you give birth, and I was adamant on getting women's diapers, and that is something that I also purchased. I just got the Walmart brand, which is actually good. Like, you know, I was gonna go for the more expensive ones, you know, the Depends, I think they're called, or you know, just the feminine ones that have like the beige, but then at the end of the day I was just like, it's $11, so just go with that. and I did have 2 packs of diapers. I only bought 1 in the beginning, and then I was just going through so many, not even so many, but I ended up buying another bag of diapers, and this is the second bag, and I have 3 left. These were a lifesaver because I did not want to do pads. I don't like pads even before pregnancy. After pregnancy, like, I was not trying to wear a pad. I don't know why I got into like this really weird habit, but I would hold all my pee in till like the very last moment, and after birth I found that I could not hold my pee at all because I did have an epidural, so I did have a catheter. I could not hold my pee, and I was just doing this stupid thing where I would hold my bladder till the very last second, and then I would go pee, and then I would have to fill this stupid thing up, and then just the sensation of water on my hands, like when I would be filling this up and the water would be dripping on my hands in the sink, the urge to pee got really bad. And there was one time, I want to say maybe 2 weeks after I gave birth, maybe a week and a half, where I actually peed in my diaper because I couldn't hold my pee, and just because like I had to pee so bad and I was filling this stupid thing up. Like I was at the sink and I pissed my pants. Or I pissed my diaper. So my first postpartum tip to maybe new moms or pregnant moms who are giving birth in a few months or whenever you're giving birth, get you some diapers. Now, because these ones are cheap, you would think that, you know, maybe they're not good quality, but when I pissed myself, nothing came out. Like nothing came out the sides. And there was even a moment, I want to say maybe in February when I got my period, because my period did come back a month after I gave birth. I actually just wore a diaper because you can't wear tampons after you give birth and your period comes. If it comes early, you know, like you're not supposed to wear diapers, or you're not supposed to wear tampons for your first period, they say. So that was annoying. So I just wore a diaper. Well, this peri bottle, it was very hard for me. I had to, you know, train myself to start going to the bathroom more frequently because I would be pissing myself. I want to say for like maybe 2 months. Yeah, because in March I had full control of my bladder. I want to say, because I gave birth in January. January and February, my bladder was sensitive, and of course in January, you know, because it's only 1 month, of course you're gonna piss yourself, but February, after you're healing up a little bit, yeah, it was still, my bladder was still not 100%. I also did have to use stool softener. Now the hospital did give me some that I took when I got home because I was hella constipated. I was more scared to, of course I was scared to poo, but then after I had my first couple poos, it was peeing that was really scaring me, and I was so ready to poo too. Like, as weird as that sounds, my first postpartum poo, I drank the stool softener. I think it came either a day or 2 after I drank the stool softener, and then I had to go out and buy my own stool softener because, you know, I was constipated, and my constipation lasted, I want to say at least 2 months. Because January 7th to February 7th, yeah, maybe like early March, and I didn't take them constantly. So when I went to my second opinion 6-week postpartum check, she even told me then, which I went in maybe in February. No, I went in March for my second opinion, and she told me to go and keep using stool softener. Oh, and I was also taking fiber supplements because, you know, before I had bought the stool softener, I was texting my mom and saying like, I haven't shit in like 2-3 days and I can feel it. I felt bloated, I felt heavy, and she brought me over some fiber pills, and the fiber actually really helped. I was more worried about peeing when I first got home, like pooping, of course, you know, after the first poo, I was like, that's easy. Like, I'd rather shit than go pee at this point. And even though I didn't tear, I was still like scared because just down there was achy, and then I didn't know why it was burning when I peed, and then people were telling me that because you got a catheter, maybe they pulled it out and, you know, kind of disrupted something or cut it a little bit. So, yeah, I was just like, peeing was just like, I don't want to pee anymore. Now my emotions my whole pregnancy were like up and down. In the beginning of my pregnancy I was crying, and then my emotions leveled out, and then after I got home my emotions were just like when I first found out I was pregnant. Like, they went down. I was crying at the stupidest little things. Like, I remember my cat was laying on my bed and my baby daddy pushed him off the bed and I started crying. I'm like, leave my cat alone. Like, he's old, his hip is kind of bad, he limps. Like, don't push my cat off the bed. Lift him up and put him on the ground. I remember being on the phone, and because the nurses don't come into your house because it's COVID, so I had Alberta Health Service call me and she asked me how I was doing, and I just started bawling. Like, I don't even know why I was crying. And I also want to mention that, you know, having a baby and being a first-time mom during this whole COVID pandemic, it was hard because even at the hospital in the postpartum section, like, the nurses aren't always there to, you know, help you. And I went home with little information, and I remember my mom asking me certain things and I was like, no, the hospital did not tell me that. I was kind of swinging it like in the first couple weeks, but after a while I got used to being a mom, and of course it's fun. And there was a lot of nurses calling me for the first 3 days. There was a lot of appointments as well. Now, because my daughter was born with a cleft palate, I had to call the Stollery, which is a big hospital here in my city. I had to call the Stollery, book appointments. I had to go have the newborn checkup, and then they kind of check you. You know, it was just a lot of stuff in the first couple weeks of being a mom, and it was kind of overwhelming. Like, those first couple weeks were just insane. My mom took my daughter at one point and let me and my baby daddy get some sleep, which I'm so thankful for because I was hallucinating. And at that point, like, the first 48 hours of being home and like those first couple weeks, I was super forgetful. Like I said, when I first got home, having no sleep at all, being sleep deprived, I was hallucinating. I was seeing shit on the roof. Like, I remember going into the bedroom when I first came home that night, and I was laying there. I was laughing hysterically because when I get really tired, I just giggle at everything. And I remember laying in the bed and I thought I seen a bug on the roof, so I was looking at it. My baby daddy comes in and I'm like, can you kill that bug? And he's like, what bug? And I'm like, it's on the roof. And he's like, that's not a bug. Back to my appointments. For the appointments, like, I was super forgetful. I would forget the dates. I would forget the appointment as a whole. Like, I would have to call certain places back because, you know, I would get off the phone with them and then I'd be like, oh my goodness, I don't even know, like, when this appointment was set up. I don't know what appointment that was. Like, it was really bad. I hadn't slept for like 4-ish days prior. So from like January 6th, when I was laboring all day, January 7th I gave birth, January 8th and 9th I believe I was in the hospital, and then I was let out either the 9th or the 10th. I think the 10th is when I came home. Yeah, like, I hadn't slept at all, maybe like 2 hours. So that was all within like the first 3 days. Like, there were so many appointments. And like I said, my daughter has the cleft palate. So when I had went to that appointment, I had asked the nurse, because there was a feeding consultant and then there was the actual surgeon who was going to be doing her surgery. I asked the feeding consultant when she was about to leave and let him come in, I was like, can you please tell him to bring a piece of paper and like write everything down? Because even when I was talking to her about my daughter and how to feed her and everything, like, it just one ear and out the other. Like, the information was not soaking in my head. I had asked her, can you please get him to come and like write it down, you know, just so I can take it home, or like, can I use my phone and just record him because I will not remember anything. And he did. And I'm so thankful. Within like the first week of being postpartum, it still stung when I went pee. So the first couple days, of course, and then like the first week I was like, okay, when is it gonna stop? Because I don't like it when it burns. I don't like it when it stings, when it burns. Like, is this, like, what's going on? Of course, I didn't want to look down there because I was scared. The appointment that I went to when it was her and me getting checked out, I asked the doctor, like, can you look down there and tell me what the hell's going on, because it stings, and like, just tell me what it looks like because I don't want to look. And she said, of course, it looks a little bit swollen still, but it looks fine, like, you're not cut anywhere. And it was around this time, like after that, like that first week after birth, my urethra and like my clitoris, you know, like that first couple days of your period where it feels very heavy down there, like mostly towards your clit, but that's because like all the blood is, you know, there's a lot of blood down there and there's a lot of, you know, hormonal stuff going on down there. my urethra and my clitoral area just felt super, super heavy. And at that time I did not have my period, and yeah, so I was kind of like, what is this sensation and why does it feel like the first couple days of my period? Like, why does my coochie feel so heavy? And apparently that's normal because, you know, the catheter and your bladder being blown up with the catheter. But yeah, apparently that's like your pelvic floor. And when I went to my second opinion doctor's appointment, my postpartum doctor's appointment, she said that if that sensation does not go away, you may have to see a pelvic floor therapist so that they can help on getting your pelvic floor stronger again. This uncomfortable feeling only happened when like I would be going pee and then I would go to stop myself. It would feel like super, super heavy. And like when I would have to stop myself from peeing, I had pain. And at 7 weeks postpartum, I still had like that painful, you know, Kegel stopping myself from peeing sensation. At 4 months now, I want to say in March is when it probably stopped. So 3.5 months postpartum is when that sensation stopped. It went from a pain to a more just uncomfortable feeling. As of now, I do not have that sensation anymore. So when I go to stop myself from peeing, I don't feel anything. Within that first week of postpartum, I still had my achy back. I think I took a Tylenol at one point because it was just, the first 7 days I had actually stopped using, like I was alternating between toilet paper and the peri bottle because I felt like, I don't know, like I just use a little bit of toilet paper sometimes. I wasn't wiping because you're not supposed to wipe down there, especially if you tear and you got stitches. You want to use the peri bottle, but because I didn't tear, I would just pat my little coochie and then yeah, use the peri bottle. The peri bottle within the first 7 days was kind of annoying because I had to keep filling it up. So I was using warm, but kind of on the warmer side of warm. And yeah, it was just getting really annoying within the first 7 days of postpartum. So that's why I was alternating between toilet paper and the peri bottle because I was like, you are pissing me the fuck off. Now let's talk about your postpartum body. So within the first 7 days, I still had my little pouch, and every day I would notice that my stomach would be going down. Now, if you are pregnant and you're watching this, after you give birth, you're gonna have the belly and you're gonna look pregnant still. But you know, there's things that you can wear that kind of help your body naturally go down. There are stomach wraps, and even though some people say like you're not supposed to wrap your stomach, wrap your stomach. There is a lot of good reasons and a lot of good things that happen when you wrap your stomach after birth. Of course, not too tight, but just to help your body, you know, go back to its normal state. I don't know where my abdominal binder is in my house right now, but I did use a abdominal binder. It was just one from like this health store. It was white, and it wasn't like a waist trainer. It was just a plain old, you wrap it and then you wrap the sticky part over here. And I tried to wear that as much as I could, but I've just found it once again to be annoying. I'm one of those people, I don't really, you know, I'll try something and try to do it as long as I can, but if it's making me, you know, if it's a hassle, I just fuck it. But yeah, to my surprise, my postpartum belly, within like the first week of being home, like it was going down every day, and I kind of missed it, and I liked my postpartum belly. Even though, you know, there's a lot of people that want to bounce back, and ladies, let's just be honest, a lot of us do not bounce back like that. There is this thing on social media that, you know, it's, you know, women are supposed to bounce back, and if you don't, there's a problem. There is no problem if you do not bounce back. And I am still sitting at 160 pounds. When I gave birth, I was 185. So I lost about 20 pounds, and then recently, I want to say at the end of March, I was actually I went from 161 to 165. So I gained like 4 pounds, and I think I'm like 163 right now. So you're not gonna lose all your baby weight, but you should lose a good chunk of it. When I first got pregnant, I was 145, and I feel like all the fat on me is in my back. Like I got back rolls now. If you have been watching my Shein hauls, you guys will see like I got a little bit of a tummy still, and I do have some crazy back rolls. But don't be too, you know, insecure if you still have your baby gut, and even like a month or two down the road you still have baby weight, because you know it's normal for you to still have that. You don't have to lose it ASAP. right? So for me, when I would see my stomach go down every day, I was kind of sad. I'm like, I like my body like this. I want to sit here and appreciate the way that I look. And I know that's really crazy, but I just really liked my body after I gave birth. And it was cute. Like, my tummy was cute. I don't know about y'all, but I liked my tummy. Now, let's talk about pumping and milk. So because my daughter has her cleft palate, there's no suction in her mouth. So breastfeeding was just not happening, but I was producing milk. Now, my milk did not come in till like 3 days after I left the hospital. So January 10th, 11, 12, like around January 13th-ish is when my milk started to come in. And I remember I was pumping, and I didn't think that there would be anything coming out of my nipples until I was just sitting there, not even looking, because the hospital said, and even the breastfeeding specialist was like, when you get home, pump your breasts because your milk will dry the hell up. And that's another thing we're gonna talk about, because I'm not breastfeeding anymore, or I'm not, producing milk anymore. To my surprise, there was a little bit of colostrum in the bottle, and then it turned more whitish, and then I was actually pumping milk. Now, if you're going to breastfeed, make sure that you have an adequate diet and that you're eating healthy so that your milk can be nice and fatty for your baby. For me, it was very hard for me because, one, my baby daddy doesn't really cook, so it was up to me to cook. I had to pump, I was changing diapers, I had to clean the house. Like, I was trying to do everything at once, and my baby daddy would help, but I just felt like, there was just so much to do, cleaning bottles, making sure that I showered, making sure that I was going to the bathroom on time. And going to the bathroom takes like 10 minutes when you're postpartum because there's just so much shit that you gotta do. So I just felt like there was not enough time in the day for me to actually sit down and eat. And for me, my diet was not good. I was storing some milk, so I would pump, and I was making a decent amount of milk within like that first week of being postpartum. But then by my birthday in February, I stopped pumping. My nipples were sore. The lanolin, I think is what it's called, the lanolin nipple cream was not working for me, and I was just over it. Like, my nipples were sore. So even though my diet was not the best, I still tried to pump as much as I could. I just got to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. My milk is very thin, it looks a little bit like watery, like it wasn't fatty like it should be, or like I think it's supposed to be. And I was like, you know what, I think my daughter should just be on formula. So, and that's another thing, if you feel like you want to put your baby on formula, then you do what you got to do. I know a lot of people were pressuring me to breastfeed and to keep on pumping, but like the way that my nipples were set up, and even the breastfeeding consultant lady had phoned me and was like, you need to make sure that you protect your nipples because that you shouldn't be feeling pain, and if you're feeling pain, you can actually scar your nipples. So ladies, if you are feeling any kind of pain on your nipples when you're breastfeeding or pumping, your nipples should not be hurting. So try lanolin cream, ice your nipples. I tried to ice them, hot compresses in the shower, everything. Like, I tried everything and nothing seemed to be taking the pain away. So if you're experiencing pain, talk to your doctor, talk to whoever you got to talk to. And if it comes down to it, it is okay to take your baby off breast milk and go with formula. Don't let anybody try to pressure you or make you feel like less of a mom because you have to give your baby formula. My baby is on formula right now. It took a lot of trial and error because she is lactose sensitive. So yeah, which is another thing. But yeah, so breastfeeding was just crazy. Even stopping my breasts from producing milk. Like, oh my God. I don't know what was worse, stopping breastfeeding or the nipple pain. Oh my God. It took me about 2 weeks for my milk, I want to say, to stop coming in. And they were hard, they were sore, and if you don't pump constantly, that's another thing. Your breasts will get big and they will get sore, and it's just, oh my goodness. So if you're gonna be pumping your breasts, you gotta do it like every 2 to 3 hours. Apparently from this breastfeeding consultant lady, she said that you will lose your supply if you're not pumping consistently. So if you're gonna be breastfeeding, you gotta make sure that you're also pumping as well in between feeds. For me, I just felt like I didn't have enough time, and I feel like had a little bit more support, I think it would have went a little bit better. My daughter just woke up. So by day 12 days postpartum, I had like no blood, but I would spot sometimes. And I really liked wearing my diapers, so I would just be wearing diapers and not even be bleeding at that point. Like I remember my mom being like, just go put on a pad and go put on some regular ass underwear. And I'd be like, no, like I want to wear my goddamn diaper. And talking about breastfeeding, by day 12, like I hadn't realized yet, but my breasts were like tingling and my nipples would be tingling. And my mom was actually like, that means that your milk is coming. And then when I would be naked around the house, I would feel my nipples tingling and then milk would just start to come out. So ladies, if you're pregnant, after you have your baby, when your nipples start to tingle, get you some breast pads. I also went through one box of nipple cover pads and then I bought another one, but then at that time I was like, I'm not doing this breastfeeding shit. I'm not pumping, I don't want my nipples to have milk, like no. Day 12, I still had that lochia, whatever it's called. That is the stringy white stuff that comes out of your coochie. I think it's stringy and white. It's the discharge that is coming out of your vagina after you give birth. That is pretty much something from your uterus, I think, but that still means, or it's something from your cervix. It's somewhere from inside. It just means that your cervix is still open and healing. Something's healing. So I still had that discharge coming out, even though I didn't have blood. I still had that lochia, whatever it's called. I actually had no idea what that discharge was until I Googled it. I was pretty much still emotional, but it wasn't as bad. The relationship after having a baby, I feel like was the hardest thing to keep together because, you know, you're emotional, you have a newborn baby, the baby father, you know, men have it rough as well because, you know, they don't have that, well, they do have a bond with the baby, but, you know, they weren't the ones that went through birth, and so they don't have that maternal instinct, is what I mean to say. So I feel like if you're not on the same page in your relationship can take a hit because, you know, with everything going on, with everything going on, it can be hard. So 3 weeks postpartum, that was around my birthday, I want to say. Maybe 4 weeks. That's when I got my abdominal binder, and I did wear it occasionally, but at this point now, 4 months, I'd have to find it, but it is somewhere in my house. I haven't worn it for a while. I want to say for at least 3 weeks now I haven't worn it. The abdominal binder, it was supporting my back as well. I remember the first day I put it on, I was like, oh my goodness, like my back feels really good right now. I think that's another reason why they say to wrap yourself, because after you give birth, you know, your back is out, your coochie's out, your booty's out, like your whole lower region is just, you know, your body has to get used to not having a baby in it anymore. So I felt personally, in my opinion, the abdominal binder just kind of was an extra little supportive thing for me, and I really liked the support that it had for my back. Like, it did a tremendous job. Around my birthday, so I went for my postpartum, my first OB checkup, my first 6 week, I want to say February 18th, and I felt comfortable enough around my birthday, so I was like 5 weeks postpartum. I felt comfortable enough to have sex. My period also came early, so my hormones were just skyrocketing. You know, I wanted some, and I wanted some now, like, and so did my baby daddy. Like, we were both, like, physically, we wanted it, but physically, you know, I was scared and he was scared, so we tried it. And the first time it was good, and then we tried round 2. Missionary felt great, and then I was like, you know what? You know, I felt a little gassed up. I'm like, you know, let's try doggy, and then we tried doggy, and I don't know what, like, I don't know if my cervix was still open, but when it went deep, I had like this weird sensation, and I asked him, I'm like, did you feel that? Because I don't know, it felt, I don't know, I felt something inside. So I'm like, you know what, let's switch back to missionary. We are moving too fast right now. So we went back to missionary. But yeah, so 5 weeks postpartum, and we had sex about 3 times that week. Yeah. So yeah, sex around 5 weeks postpartum was okay for me. I physically felt okay. Even 4 months postpartum now, I still have some occasional discomfort, but the sex is not painful. And it wasn't painful the first time or the third time, but after the second time I think we did it, or it would be the third time. After the third time that we did it, I did spot a little bit after, which is normal. But ladies, so, you know, everyone says to wait till your 6-week postpartum checkup before you have sex. Now, I feel like that depends on the person. That depends on you. Of course, it is your body. So if you feel ready at 3 weeks, of course, you know, talk to your partner about it. Maybe talk to your doctor about it. But if you feel ready, then, you know, do what you gotta do. Like me, I don't know why. I think it was because my period was coming, but I was ready. It was either my period or I was ovulating. Either way, I wanted some Dizzic and I wanted it now. And my baby daddy came through and gave me what I wanted. So, if you feel ready to get back and do it again, make sure that you have protection, because you are, you know, you will get pregnant again. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You're more likely to get pregnant right after you give birth. We're fertile after we pop the baby out. So yeah, just make sure that you protect yourself, because, you know, pregnancy, you can get pregnant. And I guess there is stories of women who, they go to their 6-week postpartum checkup and they end up being pregnant then. But yeah, if you're ready to have sex after you have your baby, like 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks postpartum, as long as you feel okay and, you know, you feel as if everything's okay down there, go for it. Get you some. I remember asking Courtney, like, I remember we had sex and I was like, Courtney, like, I had sex and I don't know if I should have. And she was like, no, it's fine. Like, just wear protection, because, you know, you don't want to be pregnant again. I want to say in my previous birth video that I did mention to you guys, I just did not like my OB. He was just, his energy was weird to me. Like I switched to him because he was closer to me, but even after that first checkup, I wanted to say that I liked him, but something was just off. Like, I did not really like this man. And then throughout my pregnancy and just seeing him every other week or whatever, like, this man, I wanted to switch again. And I remember being at work and I was trying to call another OB, and like, my OB and their clinic would not refer or not give my papers to the people that I was trying to move to. Like, yeah, it was just a weird thing. So I was stuck with this idiot, and then my 6-week postpartum check was like 5 minutes long. And I remember leaving and I'm like, this whole 6-week postpartum check, I could have just not went, because he did nothing for me. Just a waste of time. So ladies, if you feel like you should get a second opinion from a different OB, from a different doctor, make sure that you do that, because I just hate the fact that he was my OB. Like, this man did not give a shit about anything. I feel like he did not ask enough questions or try to pry and, you know, figure everything out. My second OB 6-week postpartum check that I had, I think at 8 weeks, I think, like, I can't remember, it was like in March, I'm pretty sure. I was like 8 or 9 weeks postpartum, and this was 30 minutes long. And I remember telling the nurse that I was speaking to, I was like, my first 6-week postpartum check was super fast, and you guys are being more thorough and actually asking questions. This man was like, so what kind of protection are you using? Are you trying to get pregnant? Okay, let's see your coochie. Stuck a finger in. Did he use 1 or 2? Stuck a finger in. Okay, do a Kegel on my finger. Okay, you're good. You're healed. Do you have postpartum depression? Do you have the baby blues? Okay, you're good to go. I'm a fairly fit person. He didn't give me the okay that I could work out again, which, I mean, fuck it, right? Like, I'm just gonna start working out. But he did not give me the okay. He did not tell me I could have sex. Like, it was just 5 fucking minutes. Like, waste of goddamn time. I just felt like with my 6-week postpartum check, he should have been more understanding, and just inquired more. He asked me about the birth of my daughter, and I thought that he would know already, because doesn't the hospital tell your OB? And he worked at the hospital. So I was just really confused, and I'm so glad he did not deliver my baby. At 6 weeks postpartum, I did get my period. And yeah, so I think the week before, when I was like crazy horny and I wanted some dick, I think that was me ovulating. And even now, I feel like after giving birth, I feel like I'm just way more in tune with my body and I enjoy sex more. I don't know why, like I don't know what happened, I don't know what was going on, I don't know what my daughter's head did down there, what, you know, like I don't know what the doctors did, but sex is like way better now than it was before I was pregnant. Like I enjoy it way more now, it feels way better, so yeah, which I mean that's pretty good. I like that part. My first period that I got, I want to say it was in February, and it was very light. I want to say it was like 3-4 days, which my period is usually 4 days, but this one was like 3 days. It was very light. I had little cramping, and after the 6-week check, I did still have like that sore urethra feeling. Like I said, I stopped feeling that like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it did go from like a pain to a more just uncomfortable, like, oh, I don't want to stop myself from peeing anymore. But it's kind of like a reflex, you know, when you're peeing and then it's kind of dribbling out, so you stop yourself. So it was hard. There is some days now, and even like 3 months postpartum, where my vagina did feel a little bit tender still. And even now, like there is days, even sometimes when I have sex, like my vagina does feel tender and it is kind of a little bit sore. It does look the same, like your coochie does not change or look like a monster after you have birth. It doesn't look different, but you know, I can see, because I know my body, I can tell like what has changed. But it's not scary looking now, like it still looks like itself. 2 months after birth, it was easier going to the bathroom, going poo, all of that stuff. And I did have like the tightest calf pain. Like I had a knot in my right calf, and then I had like my left calf was just tight as hell too. My legs were super tight. I thought I had a what is it called? I thought I had a blood clot, and I forgot to tell my second opinion nurse and doctor about it, but my baby daddy massaged it out, and as of right now, he massaged it out in March, and as of right now, May 7th, holy shit, or was it April? I'm so lost. Why am I thinking last month was March? God, this video is a mess. So if we're in May, I want to say April would be the last time that I had any kind of uncomfortable pain down there. Yeah, I want to say April is like the month where everything started to subside. But yeah, my calf pain, I want to say April was when my baby daddy massaged it out, and it was all better now. I thought it was a blood clot. I was really scared, but I didn't really have the symptoms of a blood clot. It was just this pain, and it ended up making my Achilles heel really tight. Like my whole leg, both of my legs were just tight and sore. You know, I couldn't run. Getting up in the morning and just walking was just, I felt stiff in my calves, and it went down to my feet. Just crazy. And there's some days where I feel like I do have postpartum rage, and so even though I don't have depression, I just feel like sometimes I just get really angry, and I try to work on it. You know, there was times where I was popping GABA and L-theanine just to help calm myself down. I do live off coffee now, and I love coffee. But yeah, being postpartum now, it's fine. You know, I feel good now. Did you poo? Okay, I'll be right back, guys. My daughter just took a dump and I gotta go change. Tell me why I did not press film and I just finished the video. So guys, I'm gonna end this video really soon here so I can go and feed my baby. If I feel like I missed anything from this video, I may make a second part to it, but I feel like for the most part, I did get everything. Being 4 months postpartum, I am noticing now that I am starting to lose my hair, and it's just happening all along the edges here. I am taking some biotin, like I got on it really quickly. Biotin, folic acid, I'm taking my prenatal. I do have some hair journey videos on my channel, so make sure that you also check that out. But yeah, so postpartum, ladies, it is totally normal if you start to lose your hair just because of the hormones and how everything is just going back to normal. With my hair loss, I have hairballs all over my house. You know, my shower drain is filled with hair. Oh my god, like I just sit around sometimes and I just pull hair out of my head. Like, that is how crazy it is. I just thought maybe it won't be me, maybe I won't lose this kind of hair, but no, I'm losing hair, and I'm losing hair all over. And the biotin, it's working, you know, but it's making me grow hair everywhere. Like my pits, I gotta shave every 2 days. My legs get hairy, like I look like a man from the knees down. So it has not been fun. So I mean, the one downside of being postpartum is the hair loss. Yeah, so ladies, just prepare yourself for that. Most women, I want to say, will lose their hair. So that's another thing to look out for if you're pregnant right now or trying to become pregnant, or maybe you're not even trying to become pregnant at all, but you're just watching this. You will probably lose your hair. Oh, come here. You're just losing hair that you were supposed to lose for those 9 months. This is Anaya. We literally just filmed this, so she's back. So yeah, I do have a hair journey on my YouTube channel as well. But yeah, they say like your period is not supposed to come back for like 6 months. You know, your hair is not supposed to fall out till you're 6 months postpartum. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why do I gotta lose it now? Why do I gotta go bald now? You know, why does my period gotta come back now? Even the nurse was like, did you get your period? And I said, yeah. She's like, already? Like, yeah. I don't know why. It's some bullshit. But this is what I got out of that whole experience. I don't find being a mom is hard, like I've been told by like other moms that I've been talking to. I feel like the hardest part of motherhood is keeping the relationship with the baby father, or you know, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever, keeping that relationship in good terms, because like I said previously, it's almost like you have so much other stuff going on after you have the baby that you have to keep the relationship alive. You have to put in effort in the relationship as well, and it's hard when you got so much other stuff going on. Other than that, I really find motherhood to be fun for the most part. You know, I get up every 3 hours with Anaya in the nighttime when she wakes up for feeding. You know, minus, you know, saggy titties and your nipples being long and big and brown, and you know, my nipples used to be like the color of my skin, and now they're just dark as hell, you know, just flopping around like this. It is like, I like to walk around naked in my house, and I have mirrors all over the place, and I'll just be walking and my breasts will just be like flopping, saggy. So I mean, breastfeed and pump as long as you can, ladies, but you know, after you're done, I don't know how your titties is gonna look, but they might look crazy like mine. And now I know why Cardi B got her surgery, to reconstruct them, because hell, if I had some money, I would probably do the same goddamn thing. Everything seems to be normal now. My March period came a week early, and then my period came on time. She just spit on me. My period came on time in April. So yeah, it's just been a lot of ups and downs. You almost have to like relearn how to be yourself again, because once you have a baby, like everything just gets turned upside down, and you just gotta figure out how to live this new life that you have with a new life. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, yeah guys, I think I'm going to end this video. You know, she is 4 months. She got her teeth last month, so she's early. She's getting everything early. I'm getting everything early, so you know, yeah. Make sure that you guys subscribe to my channel. Let me know what's up. Let me know, are you pregnant? Are you postpartum? Are you scared? Let me know in the comments below what is going on with you. And like I said, guys, if I think of anything else postpartum, I will make another video. Ooh. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go. We're gonna go take some Mother's Day pictures, and I will see you guys. Ooh. I will see you guys in my next video, whenever that will be. Thank you so much for watching.